কিন্তু সেই স্ট্যাটস পাল্টিয়ে দিতে পারে এই 12th ম্যান, কারণ প্যাকড সল্ট লেক স্টেডিয়াম অপেক্ষায় 3টে পয়েন্ট মোহন বাগানকে এনে দেবে এই লিগ শিল্ডটা করে দেবে ইন্ডিয়ান সুপার লিগ সিজন 10 এর চ্যাম্পিয়ন। বিশ্বজুড়ে সেলিব্রেট করছে লিগ শিল্ডের দিকে, চ্যাম্পিয়ন্স হওয়ার দিকে।
So, hello guys, welcome back to Mariners Onside. Welcome back to another live. Today we have Chris. He's our special guest today. And good evening, everybody. Please do a like, share, and subscribe, and hit a comment below. So, how are you, Chris?
I'm great. Glad to be invited here. I'm glad to be on Mariners Onside. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about this.
So basically, we are an official fan club of Mohun Bagan, and in this channel, we are talking about Mohun Bagan basically most of the time. So today we will talk about Mohun Bagan as well as Indian football. So first of all, share me your things like your background about football. Means when did you start making content or like that?
So yeah, I my background actually, I've actually been involved in sports. I'm from the U.S., but I actually live in Thailand. So when I was in the U.S., I actually um, managed and operating a racing series, like motorsports. And so I've always, like my entire life, I've always, worked in sports. And, when I was here in Thailand, I kind of, missed that sports kind of things. Obviously, I've always liked sports, like football. And, through some friends, some players, a lot of Brazilian guys that play here in Thailand. I started kind of doing a little bit of agency stuff and helping them stuff, making some highlights, for them and things like that to send out, to teams and stuff like that. So that's kind of how I started doing some content, kind of a little bit on the agency side of things. And then I kind of progressed. I wanted to go and see more and do more and make content and, kind of give that my channel and what I do is like, I like to get that fan's perspective, like what would it be like going to, this game or that game, and that's kind of, game day adventures is just going and traveling, food in the area, meeting people, meeting the fans, and like having that good experience and see what that experience is at a match. So that's kind of my background and how I came to here and, started making, content and, yeah, and then I wanted to go, I'm doing it a lot in Thailand and I wanted to go somewhere else and I picked India.
Yeah, so basically, you have been in India and Kolkata, and you were in Mohun Bagan versus Mohammedan game, I think. You were there. Means Mohun Bagan versus Mohammedan game, I think. You were there. So basically, what brought you into the Indian football that you think that you will cover that Indian football or you will react on that? So what brought it in?
Yeah, so I really kind of watch different leagues, especially here, being in Asia, but around the world. But I really feel that ISL is going to be a huge league. It's a fast growing league. I think it's one of the, in my opinion, I think they're going to be one of the fastest, one of the top Asian leagues in the next 3 to 5 years. So it really intrigues me. Obviously, the population of India. There's a lot of population, a lot of growth there, and it's something. They're obviously. Jamie McLaren. Getting big names like that. A lot of
He's a good
for. Yeah. I
Australian
mean,
goat.
yeah, I mean, he's Golden Boot guy. He's the A-League all-time best scorer, and I've seen a lot of foreigners coming to India to the ISL, so I think that kind of caught my eye, and there's a lot of talent heading to India, and with that being said, too, is like the international team. I was able to actually see India play last year. They played in Thailand. So I just think there's a lot of potential with the league, and there's a lot of I think from the outside, maybe you don't see that so much in India, but from the outside, I think that the ISL is going to be something that, or a lot of people talk about that league.
Mhm. So from when you were following that ISL thing means from how many years?
For the ISL, yeah,
Yes.
I've really probably paid attention for like the last 2 years. I kind of really, got it. And one of the my good friends and one of the guys that I work with here, he actually he plays here in Sisaket, but he was a former player. He played in at Northeast United a long time ago. Danilo Lopez. So, he's kind of in my ear
Mhm.
too. He's telling me, hey,
Yeah.
you need go, you need to go. He said the fans there are crazy, it's perfect for you. So, that kinda caught my eye, him saying that, and, yeah, so that's probably the last couple years I've really gotten into it and, kinda watched and seen who's come and who's gone and listening to him and other guys. I think, the biggest thing from players' side of things is that they talk about how great the fans are. I mean, I think, and that's what I wanted to experience, and that's kind of what my stuff is about. So I think that's the big thing is the fans.
So now, no, basically that culture of Indian football and the history of Indian football is very rich. Means from the Britishers times. So from that time to now, means lot of changes are there. But there, so basically the history is rich, and you have experienced it. So how do you feel that means what? How is that fan culture in Mohun Bagan, especially in India? Fan culture, basically.
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, the fan culture is absolutely wild. I mean, it's I think Indians, fans are super passionate, right? But they're respectful.
Mhm.
That's kind of what I liked about it. It was,
Means
you know,
we are seeing our club as our mother. So in that level, we respect our club. That's the
yeah.
thing.
Actually, I remember when I went to Salt Lake Stadium, I actually had one of the fans tell me that, say, "I love this club like it's my own mother." That's exactly what they
Yes,
said. It's funny you
yes.
say that because that is true. Uh, so yeah, I mean, I really think that the passion there for the fans is wild, and uh very proud, like very proud of their club, and I think the other thing too is like obviously, being proud of their club, but there's a desire too from the fans to see this league grow and see it get bigger, and I think that's important. They want to see not just, their club, but they want to see the league get bigger. And I think that's pretty important too.
So basically, it means how does you will compare that Indian football to that other countries' football? Means what football like Italy, let's say about Brazil or like that? How do
Sure.
you compare?
So I kind of just did a little video on this because I had a lot of people asking me the same question, and it's perfect that you have me on here today. But uh the the ISL, right? The is I really liked the style of play. I felt like it was it's pretty quick. It's there's not a lot of downtime. From what I saw is, you know, uh you know, I don't like slow play. I think from a fan perspective too, it's more exciting. But I felt like the ISL was really uh, a quick style of play, kept things going. It was good flow, and I appreciate that. Obviously, you've got your top leagues, in the UK and Italy and stuff like that, and those are big. But it kind of reminds me a little bit of the J League, the Japanese league. It's a pretty quick, pretty quick, fast
Evolving.
paced. Yeah,
Uh,
right now, in my opinion, and I think, dollars, for players and stuff, the J League is the top league in, Asia. Obviously you've got the Saudi league.
Not only Asia, in World Cup also Japan has a great job, has did a great job. Means
Sure.
hmm.
And that's kind of where I see that the J League has really grown in let's say the last 5 years for sure, but 10 years. But I kind of see the ISL following a lot like the J League. I really do. And I think the J League for me is the top league in Asia. And it's and I think the ISL will follow that. I really do. I think it will be up there. I think be the J League, and I think you'll see Indian football right up there.
So, what do you think that from the technicality perspective, that there is big difference from the Japanese player and in Indian player, or they are closely same or like that?
Yeah, so I think that's probably the maybe the downside. I think obviously the ISL, but I think and I'm still learning obviously different you know parts of Indian football, but I think th- like Indian players need places and, and leagues to develop more, right? And more opportunities. Indian football outside,
Opportunities
you know,
like
like the I League,
opportunities.
things like that. Yeah, they need
Oh, okay.
we need to, I think like the I League, it needs to, get a little bit better quality and get better and more opportunities, right? And two, I think what's always a great measurement of, domestic players is whenever those players go play in other countries, and one of the top, Indian players playing in the J League or playing in, Thailand or wherever it may be, I think that kind of
Mhm.
those opportunities, you know, uh, need to happen, So I think, Japan has being here in Thailand and going seeing leagues in Vietnam and there's a lot of Japanese players, in these different countries and Thai players going there. And, I think seeing Indian players, obviously, you want your home players to play in your country, but it's still good opportunities, to go different places. I think that's important. And it only grows and makes them better. So yeah, I would say that that's probably the biggest thing is that football in India needs to be better developed, and the national team is doing that. Just like last week, I think it was the under 20 team was here in right up
Mhm.
here, right where I am.
Mhm.
They played in Chonburi, so and they qualified. So yeah, I think just developing internally in within the country is probably important. And yeah, I do think that the future is bright for the league. Just developing those players a little bit more is probably important.
So some days before, there was a club in ISL called Punjab FC. They have defeated a EPL club. So there is a league. They are collaborating each other. Means ISL and EPL. They are collaborating each other, and one ISL club is defeating two. Means Punjab FC has defeated two EPL clubs. So I don't think that there is means a lot of big difference like that. I think infrastructure will play a big role in it. I think so.
Yeah, yeah, and I when I was in Kolkata, I know there's like a Kolkata League and things like that. Obviously too is whenever India is a big country, right? And like from the US as well, right? It's expensive for smaller leagues, for cost, for travel, for things like that. And so I get that. But yeah, I mean, just developing those infrastructures, at the local level is something that you know probably just takes time.
Yeah, it takes time, but I think we if we can defeat them, then we can also step up and go into that national level. We have that capability, but no one flourishes them. The main I think there is a problem of finding the talent, finding that good talent. We have a big population in India, so
Sure.
the main problem is that to find a good talent. So
Sure.
means there we want 11 players, we will fight, right? So we have 1.4 billion people population. So that's the main I think problem in it. So what do you think means how we can solve this problem?
I think it's just I think it's domestically, it's internally, like, that people need to, you know, uh, they need to seek out that talent, right? And go and coaches at the, under 20, under 23s, they need to go and go locally, right? And search for that talent and develop him, develop that player, give him opportunities, right? So I think that's probably the biggest thing. Um, an example I can tell you right now is here in Thailand this year, they started a under 23, like basically it's like a under 23 from the top clubs, right? So, and it's just for players under 23. And it's like, the top clubs, like it's Thai League One, Thai League Two. If you wanted to have a team, I think there's 8 teams that are doing it this year, but it's called the Youngster League, and it's giving those opportunities for it's for clubs to sign young players, and it gives them a league to play in, right? So maybe there's a guy who's 20 years old. He's signed with the club, but he's never going to get any playing time, at the on the top club because he's just not developed yet. So this was a great league. It's just it would just be like Mohun Bagan, if they had an under 23 team, and it'd be the same thing as every ISL team had an under 23 team. It gives players and coaches to watch them, and develop that player, and he gets playing time. And I think it's gone quite well, and that might be something that having a under 23 league under the current clubs, playing each other and stuff. And they play like on, during the week, like a lot of games here are on Saturday and Sunday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but they play on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So I think, something like that, it seems to be going quite well. Obviously, once again, there's cost involved, but you know, uh, football has costs, so develop that person, he signed him at 19, he just doesn't want to train every day. He needs to see some playing time.
Okay, so we have some comments. We will take some comments for you. So
Okay.
first comment is Shubhadeep Chatterjee. Thank you for commenting. He's saying that Chris, what do you think about Mohun Bagan? Simple.
Yeah. So, I first of all, when I walk in the stadium, it's massive. It's just like the, you know, Salt Lake Stadium as the home stadium is just like breathtaking. I don't know. It's just, to see a stadium that big is just like is wild, right? And then the club itself, it's passionate fans, like yeah, I've kind of like very strong, like strong, passionate fans. And like I think I think from the ownership, there has a strong desire to win, right? So, they're the ownership is going out and getting the players, and I think you've got a good team. I think you've got a quality team this year that should be at the top for a championship. Like I really feel that way. I'm sure obviously, all you guys do too, but from what I'm seeing, they started off a little bit slow at the beginning of the year, a lot of a little bit, getting used to playing each other, but now it seems like putting up some goals and playing a little bit together. So I think you've got a quality squad and should be in the mix for a championship.
Okay. So next comment will be Tree Story. Thank you for commenting. He's saying that do you think that MBSG will win Shield and Cup this year?
Yeah, so well, it's kind of like I was just saying. I think that I think yes. I mean, I think it's definitely like I said, they started out slow, but really have gotten better, right? And I I I I I think so. I think they have that opportunity to win it, and yeah, I mean, I think I do.
Accidentally, I back off.
Oh,
So
no
yeah,
worries.
you continue.
Yeah, so yeah, I definitely think they should be in the mix for the Shield Cup, sure.
Okay. So the next comment will be Vishal Chakraborty. Thank you for commenting. He's saying that hello Chris, I'm big fan. If possible, in the upcoming year, you can watch an ISL match of Mohun Bagan at VIBK with Mariners Onside. So we will invite you officially to come and watch a game with us. And I think you are pretty sure that you are aware about that Kolkata Derby. It is the oldest, one of the oldest derbies in football. So we will invite you in a Kolkata Derby match. I think you will come with us.
Yeah, so I kind of like I said, I just made a video, kind of put out my thoughts on Indian football and what I experienced. And the biggest question I get is, are you going to come back? When is it? And everybody, you have to come to a derby. You have to come to a derby, right? So
Yeah.
yes, 100%. My plan is in the second leg to make it and to get a derby, and definitely would want to with you guys, and I think it'd be insane, sure.
So do you eat fish?
I do,
Do you
I
eat
do, I
fish?
I do.
So basically, there is two rival club. Mohun Bagan and East Bengal. There is their rival. Okay, so each club is symbolized by each means one fish. So Mohun Bagan symbolizes that prawn, and East Bengal symbolizes hilsa. So what you will would like means like to take that fish? What you will like to eat?
What do I like to eat?
Yeah.
There's only one answer I can say. Come on.
No, no, means everybody wants to hear that from you. So basically, you can say means it is a free platform. Means we are just gossiping, like
Sure,
so
sure.
you
Well,
can say no.
well, I can say this is that Mohun Bagan is definitely has a special place in my heart because it was one of my first games, and matches. So I've only been to Muhammadan and Mohun Bagan, right? So yes, I do hear you got to
Mohun
see.
Bagan and Mamata, yeah, huh.
Yeah,
Right, right, right.
those are the two stadiums and teams I've went to. So, but
Mhm.
I do hear from East Bengal fans for sure, like, oh, you need to come, see our. So, let's put it this way. I want to, when
See,
I do,
one thing I will clarify that Mohun Bagan is always on top and East Bengal is always at the bottom. So now you can say.
yeah, well, I they've East Bengal like it's really really struggled like really bad. Obviously the Derby match wasn't even close, right? So I think 3-0 if I remember right was the score. And yeah, I mean they're struggling a lot, and it's definitely like you said, one's at the top, one's at the bottom. Still a lot of football left, right? But whenever you're struggling that bad, it's hard to bounce back, from it that early. But yeah, I mean, uh, yeah. So I think they're struggling, obviously, which is completely opposite, right, from Mahamagan. They've gotten better with time, right, and East Bengal's kind of struggled more and more. So yeah, uh, but yeah, join us. I see the comment there. November 20th. Yeah, yeah. So my plan is to come probably after the new year. I actually am getting ready to
There
do
is a one Kolkata derby after 10 means in that 11th of January. There is a Kolkata derby.
Okay, so that was kind of a question I've kind of been asking because I at first when I first hit, nobody could tell me when the Derby it was again, right? So in the second leg, it's January 11th. So I guess I need to make plans for that. I'm getting ready to go back to the U.S. Actually next week, so I'll kind of be there doing some stuff there, and yeah, then I'll come back here to Thailand, and then my plan is after the new year is to go back to India, and we can talk more about this, but I want to spend probably maybe 3 weeks, something like that, in
So
India.
you
So
are covering football in Thailand, right?
yeah, yeah. So, I have a lot of, football stuff going on here as well, right? So, the good thing is what I do like about the ISL is that there's a lot of games, right? And Monday and Wednesday and Saturday, it doesn't matter, right?
Every day there is one game.
Yes, and I love that, and if you're a football fan, you love that, right? So, as here, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is pretty normal, right? But yeah, so the good thing is if I do spend, that 3 weeks or so in India, I could go to several matches. Obviously, I want to do a Kolkata Derby, but I would like to go to some other teams in different parts of the country. Um, and I don't know if you want to talk more about that, but I've kind of made a new video, and I want people to give me comments of where they want to see me go, where should I go, and two, maybe even a little bit like we talked about before, maybe I want to go to some football games, maybe go to an I-League game, or I'd like to experience cricket too. I've never been, so
You're welcome, bro.
I know. So
IPL will start. So at that time you can come and you can cover IPL also. Means it is the biggest cricket festival in all over the world. So you can come at the time of IPL.
perfect, so that's kind of my plan. I do, Indian fans have shown me a lot of love, but too, like I told you before, the football's good. Like it's good football and it's good fans, right? So, yeah, I mean, so that's kind of my plan is after the new year is make a good trip and um, yeah, spend some time in India.
So there is a comment. Sakshi is commenting like, "Thank you for commenting." So she's telling like, "Chris, you support which team in USA? So which team?"
And you see the Champions League.
Yeah.
Oh, That's a good question.
It's a tough call.
Gosh. Okay, so I have to tell this is how I'm different, right? I really love football in like smaller leagues, right? I love ISL, I love Thailand, I love the J League, right? I love, I watch a lot of AFC stuff.
To be honest, we are talking about that big leagues like
Yeah,
means
yeah.
EPL or La Liga or
Yeah.
Bundesliga like that.
But what I'm saying is I don't watch those as much. I watch ISL, I watch J League, I watch, Australian League, I watch MLS in the US, right? I, I
Okay.
don't watch,
Oh, okay. You are a MLS fan, right?
so I like, yeah, I do like, MLS, and
So
obviously,
basically, you are a Messi fan.
yes, I do like it. I do like him. I do like that, like him being there. But anyways, uh, as far as I don't really have a team that I in the Champions League that I follow a lot. If you had to ask me what my favorite team in like Premier League is, like Wolverhampton. I like Wolverhampton Wolves. It's kind of big
Interesting.
different. When I started getting into football, it was their first year, like being promoted. So I didn't want to take, Man City or Man U or, Liverpool. So I kind of became a fan of them. So yeah, so Champions League, I can tell you AFC Champions League, like,
You can tell. You can tell.
yeah,
So
yeah.
basically, you know that there is a bad news for Mohun Bagan fans in AFC Champions League.
Yeah, so I didn't know if you were gonna talk about that, and it's a great question that she brought up that kind of we can go into that.
Vishal Chakraborty is commenting about exactly the same means incident. So one controversial question I want to ask you, Chris. What do you think about how Mohun Bagan Supergiant was robbed at AFC? Even Al Nassr match was rescheduled due to security concerns.
Yeah,
So
I do
what do you
I do
feel?
feel like they got robbed. I do feel like they got robbed. I think it could have been, I think it could have been rescheduled. It could have been moved, right? It happens. I mean, they just had an AFC game that was here in Thailand, right? And it rained too much, so they had to move it, right? Like, why couldn't it have been done? And that was definitely a security reason, right? So, I mean, I do think it's kind of got robbed, and this year with the whole AFC, like with the like the tier two, the second division, whatever. I'm not really sure if I like that. Like I get what they're trying to do to get more teams playing internationally and this that, but I don't know. It maybe it's too many games because something like this can't happen or whatever. I would hate to see uh, things like this continue like happen again, especially when it was a security, reason and tensions were high. So I do feel like they got robbed. I thought it was, I thought it was kind of bad, for him just to, you know, get kicked out like that, and yeah, so I don't know. The whole format of the AFC is a little bit different this year. I don't know if I like it. Um, you know, I I don't
Means
know. I
personally, I feel that AFC is the most corrupt system in that existing in that football like
Yeah, I
that.
mean
Means they are dependable on that oil generating country like that. So I kind of hate it.
yeah, I mean, and that's I guess that's like the new format, right? They're having more teams play, right? I think it makes them more money, right? But it costs the clubs a lot too. Like I don't know, and still it's you have a big difference. Like like even like I think today like Mongtong United who finished like sixth in the Thai league. They played like the champions of the Philippines league, and they like won today like 9-2 or 9-1. Like it wasn't even close, right? So do you really need games like that because it's expensive to go to, and I don't think you need that, and And yeah, so I don't know. I like to see, last year one of the great games I went to Kawasaki Frontale and BG, and it was a good match and good games. It was good seeing fans travel and go into different countries and seeing how the leagues compare. But I don't know. I don't think having AFC Elite and second, I don't think that's like necessary, right?
The
And
format is UCL format is good. Means if AFC can follow that UCL format, it will be good for the teams like means we are basically dependent on the quality matches. How much quality matches we can get. That is the most important thing. A country like India in that football
sure,
means
sure,
like that we can develop. Nah, we can understand the level of ours and the level of the opponent teams. So we
sure.
can't get that quality matches. I think that's the big difference.
Yeah, and like from a fan, you want to go see how your club in your country stacks up to playing a team from, whatever, a different league and country. You want to see that. Um, but we have to face it, that a team and that maybe the champions of Philippines is playing a sixth place team here and getting blown out 9-2. It's for me, I also think about the business side because like I said, I do some of the agency. It Those trips are expensive, they're flying all the way and they're very costly, that they're costly games that they don't get a lot of payback from. Like the AFC does pay these teams too much back, and cover costs so much, So it's sometimes it's just a waste, you could take that money and make your club better, in its own league, right? So yeah, I mean the only thing I guess from the good side of things is if Mohun Bagan, they're gonna save money and maybe at the transfer window they can spend and get some new players and be even
It's
better.
okay. No, money is not matter for Mohun Bagan because we have invested a lot in our team. Means we have 100 crores team. Nobody has in the ISL. So money is not a matter. The matter is that quality matches.
Sure. Yep.
So there is a question for you. That is, Chris, you said you watch J League, and recently in a survey, J League is the most average attendance in Asian leagues.
Yes. Yes. That's true.
So
You're
how
exactly
do you feel that means it is the top Asian league, J League, and ISL
right.
is above J League for
I
means on the basis of attendance.
I mean I think J League is the top. I really do. Like I think it's the top. Their
The
attendance is really
quality of the league is the top. Means we are talking about the attendance.
the well the I think that for me the attendance and the football is why the attendance J League sure, but I think the quality of football in Asia I think it's the J League as well. Um, but yeah, from the attendance side, yeah, I mean it's you know I, I just saw like even their second division, some of the J2, I think I forgot what team, but they just opened a new stadium. I mean, it holds 45,000, brand new, beautiful, like
It is in the second tier league.
that's in their second division, the J2 league. Yeah, and they built specifically for football, no running track, like, and that's the second division. So, yeah, attendance wise, J
Oh,
League
by the
is
way, I will give you a news that Mohun Bagan will open a new stadium for Mohun Bagan that is in the new town. Means apart from the Kolkata side, is little bit means it will be 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer distances from main Kolkata side. So the
okay.
attendance will be like that, 35 to 40,000 like that. The attendance will be. So it is the own stadium of Mohun Bagan. It will be the own stadium. Mohun Bagan
And
has one stadium, but they will open a new stadium. So yeah,
yeah, so
they
that's
have
so yeah, I think
collaborated with
something
I.
when do they plan on doing that?
Around 26, 2026. They have
Okay.
collaborated with Spanish league,
Okay.
La
Okay.
Liga. They have collaborated with La Liga to make the stadium. So
Awesome. Yeah, yeah. I mean, from like, attendance for me and my channel, and football, to me, I think attendance it makes my content is what it is, right? I'm doing stuff for the fans, in the fans. I like the fan experience, right? So I love attendance, right? But so yes, J League is the top attended, teams, or league there is in Asia. But yeah, I do feel, once again, I do feel is that the ISL will grow. Like in the next 5 years, I really think that it will grow a lot, and you'll see big numbers in attendance, better quality matches. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but is there plans again for the champion of the I League to be promoted to
yes, 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 yes.
okay.
The
So that's
champions
why
of the I League they will promote it to ISL, but there is
yeah,
no relegation system because we need more matches. That's why.
correct, correct. Yes. So, there's things like that'll make things better. And for the league and create, maybe that, you never know. It's like, like I said, I went to Muhammad, and they were the champions last year, right? And I went to their match, and every match, that they have in their stadium is it's full, I mean, it's not sold out, but
But the
a good
stadium is so small. Means
it is
I'm
small.
telling you, last year in that final match, means main League Shield match, League Shield decider match. So the attendance of Mohun Bagan is was 60,000 or 61,000 something. The attendance was 61,000 for a single match for a single team. Mohun Bagan. That was the highest attendance last year.
Sure. And but I guess what I'm saying though, and it kind of goes about what you were talking about. If the stadium holds 5,000 people, I want to see 5,000 people there, right? If it, from like now, it, holds,
Okay, for the environment.
yeah, it's the environment, right? So, maybe there, so adding clubs and adding clubs, adding teams to the league, I think will obviously it'll grow the sport, in a different city. Maybe the fan base takes hold, and you have a new team in the ISL, maybe next year that averages, 10,000 people, whatever. It's all about kind of growing the league. There are some things I guess we can kind of talk about there. There are a little bit of negative things I
By the
think that
way,
are
one question for you, that is, which team do you like other than Mohun Bagan Mohammed? Means other than Kolkata clubs.
so out of a different team in the league. Yeah, is what you're saying? Which team?
No, 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 no.
Yeah,
In ISL, other than Kolkata clubs.
yeah, yeah. Um, I kind of one of the places that I want to go, and I think is kind of is Goa. I kind of want to go see. Like I feel like maybe they're having a little bit of issues with some fans and things like that. I think there's some stories there. I kind of read some stuff. Uh, so that's one of the teams that I kind of like pay attention to. Um, obviously, Mumbai, is big.
Mumbai Arena.
But
Yeah. The
yeah,
stadium is small, but it is full all the time. The stadium is
and
small, but
that's
it is full.
yeah, and that's kind of what I talked about before. And then, like everybody wants me biggest law, like all the comments as far as not all the comments, but I get a lot of people
Kerala.
want me to Kerala. Yes, yes. And I know other people have done videos and stuff there, other guys, that are way bigger than me and things like that. But I wanted to do something different. I wanted to go Kolkata. I think Kolkata is the capital of Indian football, right? You got
Shout
three
out.
teams right there. Yes. So I don't think there's a better city in India for football than right there, So uh I can't answer that 100% because I haven't been other places yet. So maybe we do this again in the future, and then I can say, okay, outside of the Kolkata teams, I like this team. But Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I want to when I go in, in January is to go outside, come to Kolkata, do a derby. But yeah, let's go check out some of these teams in different places. And two, I want to do some, I would like to go to an I-League game. I'd like to try to, get some smaller stuff and kind of see what the football culture is outside of the top, league. And and I guess kind of we were talking about this a while ago, but some of the things that I was surprised that maybe are a little bit negative for Indian football or ISL. I was really surprised there's no VAR. Um, like
Yeah, there is
Thailand has VAR,
there is
even the
two
semi.
comments.
Even,
There is two comments. I am taking taking it for you. That is, how do you
okay,
see the refereeing in India? We fans feel they are of poor quality in comparison with world level. And the second question is, ISL didn't introduce the VAR till now. What are your comments on it? Does it going to help our football? So these comments
so
you
it's
take.
funny. Yeah, this is perfect. I was just kind of going, yeah. So like, I was really surprised when I went there that there was no VAR, right? Like, great media coverage, great like TV production. Like, I watched some games, just as a, in a sports bar or whatever, watching. So like, they have good quality TV production. Like, there's no reason why they shouldn't have VAR. I know there's a like cost involved, right? But I'm telling you, it does make a difference, right? It does. I do think it does make a difference. I think that's probably the one of the big things that it does need to add is VAR. Here in Thailand, they've had it for several years, and even the second division, every game this year in the second division of Thailand um, is broadcast with on a big like on the network, right? And in the second half of the season, even the second division is going to have VAR, right? So there's really no reason why the ISL shouldn't have VAR. So I think it's important. Yes. As far as the refereeing goes, that's a funny question because no, it doesn't matter where. Nobody likes the referee, right? Like it doesn't matter.
Means
They're
it is
all
the
bad,
same case
right?
of all over the world.
It's yes. There. I've never said anyone. I've never heard anyone say in any country say, "Oh yeah, the referee's good." Like, but
See, this,
when I
if
watch
you
foot,
if you are a Barcelona fan, you are watching a derby. One decision is going against Barcelona. The fans are complaining about referee. That's the
sure,
same case is going with means other clubs. So no one will say that refereeing
sure.
is good.
Yeah, I mean it. If it's for you, if the call is good for you, oh, he's a good referee. If it's not, oh, he's terrible. But I did respect. I did like how the games I went to, I felt like I appreciated this. Like Indian were still respectful, right? They may not like the decision, but they were actually pretty respectful to the ref to the officiating, right? So um, when I watch a game, I even the team that I like and follow here, I am very like I just want it right. I'm okay if it was a red card, right? But don't miss it, and just make it right. Even if it's against my team, right? Or if it's a foul, whatever. I don't really, I, I'm not one-sided, even when my team that I sit here and I go to games, if a player on my team, fouled, then I'm mad at him. I'm not mad at the referee but I don't want the referee to miss stuff like that, right? So, I've, I've like I told you before, is I worked in racing, right? And I was the person. Sometimes I would have to, you know, park the car, put him in the back. I was the referee, right? So I know how that is, right? So I just want, and same, I was using replay, right? So, I think you just want to get it right. I, look, nobody wants to be a referee. Nobody wants to. How many people do you know who like, when they're little kids or when they're, what do you want to do when you grow up? I want to be a referee. No, no one does.
So
So
I can share two funny moments in ISL. So basically, last year one match was means that was a league match, Mohun Bagan and between Mohun Bagan and Mumbai City. So in that match, referee has given 8 red cards, four for Mumbai, four for Mohun Bagan in a match, in a single
red
match. 8 red cards,
red card.
8 red cards, four red cards. Mohun Bagan has considered. So it is out of the world. No one can describe this. No one.
Yeah, no, I mean that's and that once again to me that's not a bad that's just like that's a bad. He's just not a good referee. Like I'm not saying that they're good or bad, but what I'm saying that's
Means
just a bad
it is for a
bad
single match
person.
only. No matches has
Yeah,
has this kind of things. For single match
sure.
it happens.
No, I mean I've never heard of that, right? So yeah, I mean you can't have people like that being referees. I hope he's still not a referee in the league.
No, no,
I
no.
hope he's still not a referee.
He's not in
Yeah,
the league. He's not in the league.
yeah. So obviously, you
Means
know, uh,
officially he is in the league, but he is not conducting any matches. Because if
yeah,
he was not in the league, then means everyone will questioning that FSDL, that main governing body. So they can't do that
sure.
obviously. So that's why he's officially there, but he's not conducting any matches.
Yeah, I mean, sure. You don't want to have, someone like, that representing your league, right? So, I mean, you know, being a referee is a thankless job. It's something nothing that someone wants to do. At the end of the day, I'm like I said, I'm very fair about things. I just want it right, and if you mess up, you can say I missed it. I was wrong. It happens, right? They are humans, right? But that's
Mhm.
why I think you need tools like VA. You need VAR for important stuff, and I would hope that next year the ISL has VAR. I don't know like what their time frame is on that, but I mean, really, there is a significant a cost. You got to have more referees. You got to have a TV room. You got to have but the quality of the broadcast is really good. Like I watched games. I watch games when I can't hear. Like your commentators are great. Like I really enjoy watching the game. So the productions there, there's just it's the league's gonna have to just get better and hire more people and
And
set
pitch
it up.
should be improved. The pitch should be improved.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that the pitches that I went to, both of were good, were nice, like I've been to others that aren't as nice, and weather has a lot to do with it, sometime, especially here in like, Vietnam and
That
uh
is the main problem, means it is the most humid and hot and humid condition in Kolkata. So lots of player is facing that kind of problem. Even pitch is facing that kind of problem. So that's why the game becoming slow because of the hot and humid weather.
Yeah, so and that here you have a lot of here in Indonesia, I think like you have a lot of like a lot of pitches that because it's so much rain, right? Just flooding rain, right? So don't have proper drainage, right? And but I always obviously England, UK is the football capital of the world, but I always love to hear people, players or people from there is you know why don't the English people could come here and play, play in India or play in they can't handle the humidity, they can't handle the heat. They do, like it's not easy, right? So the Brazilians are
Oh,
successful.
in the starting period of ISL, means when it started, so there is a big player like Diego Forlan was there in ISL. So there is means Roberto Carlos was there, Del Piero was there, Dos Santos was there in ISL. Helder Postiga was there. So he's a Portugal player basically. So Postiga was there. Luis Garcia was there. That means Liverpool legend Luis Garcia. He was there. So lots of
Yeah,
big players were there in the ISL, but nowadays no one wants to come in ISL because of the weather or this condition injury issues.
And yeah, no, I mean it happens here too, right? And you know, in Thailand and you know, obviously you get big league, you know, Indonesia has tons of fans and stuff like that. But it's the weather, you know, whether, you know, being super hot or super, you know, raining, right? So not everybody can do it, you know. A lot of the players from Africa and Brazil, those players that are used to that climate seem to be a little bit more successful, you know. And I think it's a, you know, it's what I see there too in ISL. It seemed like, you know, your players that, you know, that they're used to being in the heat are a little bit better about that, you know. So yeah, I mean, it's not as simple as people, you know, people think, you know, as you know, my friend, he's probably my best friend here, the Danilo Lopez. He plays, he's the top scorer in Thai League 2 now, right? But he played for Northeast United, and he went there, and you know, he played, and I think he scored maybe 1 or 2 goals. It didn't really work out for him, right? You know, but one thing he always said was that, you know, and he's a
Then
guy who plays here.
you won't believe Forlan was there. Forlan was in Mumbai City FC. So he is
Okay,
one of the lowest goal scorer in that league at that time. So when he came here,
okay,
one of the lowest
okay.
goal scorer.
But yeah, I
So
mean,
there is
you
one
know,
question for you.
his thing was just, you know,
Mhm.
okay.
The question is, who is your favorite player in Mohun Bagan? From Shakshi, thank you for commenting. Hope you do like, share, and subscribe. Huh? Chris.
Yeah, so I know this is probably like um uh cliche or whatever, but um I was there. I was at the game when Jamie McLaren made his team debut, right? So, you know,
Yeah.
like seeing that, obviously, you know, I like him. You know, I like him on you know, that's special for me. You know, like sometimes, you know, like that's how I have a connection, right? Like how I kind of get connection. You know, obviously, yeah, you got the goal scorers, you got this, but I like to have some kind of connection, and that was pretty cool to see. And it was like, you know, hearing all the fans, you know, Jamie, like, and I don't know, that was pretty cool. I wish, you know, I wish I was there to see his first goal, but yeah, I would say, and what is funny, when I was
No,
in
that
Kolkata,
was
right?
his first goal. That was his first goal in
Well,
ISL.
when I was in Kolkata, I went ate at a restaurant not too far at the mall, and they told me he just left. He just
Oh,
like, because I was like, oh, telling him, you know, I'm here like, so he had
oh,
just left. So I just met him, you know, I would have loved to catch him, but like, yeah, like he was just here. I'm like, what? Yeah, like 30 minutes ago he ate and left. I'm like, oh gosh, you know. So but yeah, I think too, I think that the thing I like about him, and maybe I'd like to hear, you know, your thoughts on this too, but he really seems to be embracing the fans. Like he likes it, like, you know, and a lot of, you know, let's say superstars or whatever, they kind of, you know, they take it for granted. But I think coming to uh you know, leaving place Australia is his home country, and you know, he's dominated, right? He's This is something new, it's fresh for him, he's exciting, he's happy, like, yeah, I mean, how do you guys as supporters, what are your thoughts on him?
means he's basically a leader up front. Means he is continuously instructing the whole team to go there, you take that their position. And most important thing is his run. Means the blind spot run and that player attracting ability of his, it's insane. So basically, we all love Jamie McLaren. So means kind of same player was there in Mohun. Is there basically? He's at present in the Mohun. He's Cummins. He's also Australian. We
Yeah.
have Dini.
Yeah, well, and I really, you know, I think he's a special player too. I think Jimmy is really, you know, and I think they're working good together now, right? They've gotten better, right? And that's kind of where we've seen the team be more successful. But I really, like I said, I really like Jamie's embracing the fan, the love fans. Like it kind of like I feel like he's like a little bit like me. Like whenever he was there, so many fans like what like you don't know what they think, and then like once you're there, you get settled. Like this is awesome. This is a great atmosphere. Like and I have never been to a game in Australia. I last season, Melbourne City came and played in Buriram
See,
in the AFC.
you won't believe the best players of Australia is coming India. I don't know why, don't know
Why?
what is going on in Australia, but they are coming in India, the best players. I don't know the reason.
The league, the league has no money. They're bankrupt. That's the problem. The league, the A League has no money. That's the problem.
So
Like there's
in ISL, we don't have money. It's the basic reason means Sanjeev Goenka is investing 100 crores. So 100 crores is not a matter of joke, right? So they won't back that money. And he knows that he won't back that money.
well,
He's
I
doing for by his love and care like that.
yeah. I mean, but I think that I think that once again, I think he probably sees that the I think he sees the league a lot like me. Like, he sees it's got potential, it's growing. The A League is struggling to continue at times. Last year, I don't there was a lot of news about the league not having money, but I think he likes the new challenge. Um,
Hey,
and
Jamie has
and
Saudi
he
offer. Jamie has Saudi offer.
well, and
Had at
he's
that time
playing in
when he
bigger
joined
atmospheres.
Mohun Bagan. Before that he had Saudi offer. So it's a big thing. He
Well, sure,
rejected
yeah,
it and
yeah.
he came in India.
And this is why I think, and this is my opinion, and he's a lot. I feel like me and him think a lot. He likes the atmosphere. He does. He's playing in a better atmosphere now than he ever did when he was in Australia. I believe that. Like, and he's playing in India. He would be playing in a better atmosphere than he would have in Saudi, right? In my opinion, like Saudi, they don't have big crowds. Like sometimes 500 people are watching, right? So it's that's what I think.
But they
He
have
he's
money.
they have money, but you know uh like myself, you want that atmosphere, and he's an older, he's older, he's getting up in his, he's proved everything he needed to do in Australia, and now he wants to enjoy it, and he wants to win. He's been a winning team. He's came to India as part of a winning team, I think, and yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously money is important, but I don't think it's everything, and I think he likes the atmosphere, much like myself. Like when I went to that ISL, it was that it gives you goosebumps. That's what you're looking for, I think, sometimes.
So one question I have, that is, see, our owner is Sanjeev Goenka. Okay, so he has money. He have enough money. Means no one can imagine like that. So
Sure.
he has that kind of money. So the question is, should we invest in the team or should we invest in the infrastructure? Means if we can invest in the team, then more of audience engagement will be more. So it can affect that way, but we can also invest in the infrastructure. So what do you think? What we should do?
Yeah. So I I I think there's there's I'm gonna give you two different thoughts, is from a supporter standpoint, yeah, you want to win, right? You want to win each and every time, and you want to, and buy the best players, get the best players, transfers, this, that. So, from a supporter, it's you want investing in the club, you want to get, this guy or whatever, you want to sign this guy, release this person. But I think if you step back and look at it for the long term, uh, you need to invest in the infrastructure of the club, because that will attract more superstars, bigger players in that 3 to 5 years. So I think, I think that's you want Jamie McLaren to talk about his experience after this, and from a fan perspective, and me dealing with players, you don't know how important that is for when other players talk to each other. They're all on group calls, group chats, like all the Brazilians here in the whole country that play in Thailand, like they're all in chats, they do video, like, so they're talking about this, hey, how is playing here? How is it being there? Don't go here, don't, you know, and I guess what I'm saying is, from you asking me, I think the infrastructure of the club, better facilities, easier things. Obviously, you got the stadium coming. If that could be a huge thing. That stadium will be custom made and made for that club, right? And yeah. So in my opinion, yeah, I think infrastructure and making that club better is the way to go.
Okay, so there are a few questions, and one more thing I have to tell you that when ISL starts, it was the top league in the world. Means you won't believe, but it was the top league in the world at that time, because there were six foreign players who are playing in the first 11 in ISL. It was that rule. There was the rule like that you can play six foreigners in your team in the first playing 11. So now they are changing this rule to get more Indian players, more quality Indian players. So they are changing it like you can use four foreigners. So what we should do means, if we have six foreigners in the playing 11, so the pace will be increased, the quality will be increased, and those who are watching that game, they will love it simply. Now what is that main thing is that in the striker position there is always a foreign player. In that AMF position, attacking midfield, there is always a foreign player. There is a CDM position, foreign player, center back, foreign player. So we are using four foreign players in the main four position. So means we can use six foreigners, right? So what do you think, like in it?
So yeah, so there's a lot of talk of that, and I can being here in Thailand, I kind of watch that a lot, and me dealing with foreign players, I know this, right? So in Thailand, at the first and second division is five. Well, is five can dress per match, right?
And how much they can
Like
register?
five. Well, that's the thing. So at the top league, they can have as many as they want, right? But you can only dress five, right? Like
And
for the game,
here it
five, right?
is. We can register seven foreigners, and we can put four foreigners in that pitch.
Okay, so so actually I think it's Malaysia. I think it's Malaysia or India or Indonesia. One of the leagues recently, just a couple weeks ago, they are increasing theirs to six, I think six or seven foreign players on the pitch at once, right? And which is different a lot, right? The thing of it is, this is when you get into foreign players, right? They do make it exciting. They because you're getting the best to come to you, right? And uh, that's a cool thing. But for Indian football to get better, you need to develop Indian players, Indian strikers, things like that. But what happens? What happens here? It comes down to money, is what's going to happen. And you know, we have Buriram United, which they spend more money than Mohun Bagan. I mean, he spends. I think their roster is right around 10 million euros, 12 million euros, right? So a lot of money, and they are so much more. Well, when they played in a J League team. When they start, they can in the AFC. there's like one Thai person. That's it. Like, not even the keeper is a Thai per. Like, there's no, no players, and that team signs players and spends money, and sometimes those players only play in AFC games or a cup game or whatever, and they're getting paid, $1 million, right? Or 500,000, or big money, really, really big money to play, you know, just set games, right? Or they go
Same thing is going
they play
on
it,
inside Mohun
so I
Bagan.
don't think you want that to happen.
Same thing is going on inside Mohun
Yeah,
Bagan.
I mean, but yeah, so and what's going to happen is I'm telling you, like this year they've got two Brazilians that came in the second half like last year. They're a million or 1.1 million euro players. Like, they're going to have to sign players. I don't know what Jamie McLaren's salary is, but it's probably right at that, or close
I
to it.
I can't say in million. I can say in crores. It is 12 to 13 crores in a year. Crores.
Yeah, well, but what's going to happen though if you start putting so many foreign players is that they'll sign players. The top team will separate too far away from everyone else, and like, it kind of makes, I know from a fan perspective of your club, if Mohun Bagan wins championship 5 years in a row, you're happy. But from a football fan and making the league better, you don't want to see a gap from one team so much different than everybody else. And that's what I'm saying happens here in Thailand, right? Is Buriram's won like this, like six out of the last seven championships, and like they're gonna win again. They already have, it's not even into the first leg, and like they've got a big points gap already. Like, you just don't want to see that, like, you don't want to see that. I think is not good for the league or growing football. You know, you want to see different teams, and you just don't want to be one team, like being spending so much money for everyone else. Because look at what happens in the Premier League. It's really the same four teams that are at the top of the table. Like, you know, 3 or 4 teams, and I get it, like, football's expensive, right? That's just the way it is, but, once again, if you kinda
See,
look at the J League.
means if you are saying the thing is Thailand, means I can tell you Thailand is spending less money than India. Means the quality I'm not comparing, but India is spending more. Means 10 lakhs means 1 million, means 10 million means 1 crore. So Jamie McLaren's salary is 12 crore. Like that, and 9 crores is Cummins, 7 crores is Dimi. Like that, we have separated that means salary cap. So Mohun Bagan has 100 crores team value. The team value is 100 crore Mohun Bagan.
So that surprised me, because if you go to, like, the transfer market and some of those deals, it actually, the Thai league as a whole, I think that, now keep in mind, there's what, 13 teams in or 11 teams or 13 teams in ISL? You know,
I said 13. 13.
13. And Thailand has I think they're 18, right? 18 now. So there's more teams, but if you look at the transfer, like, I look transfer market, stuff like that, uh, you know, and the money is overall, as throughout the league, it's a little bit more spent, but there's more teams too. But what you want to see as a football fan from India, I think, which happens here in Thailand, they've got a Thai guy who's a striker for Buriram, and he's almost a million, like $800,000, $900,000, and he's staying here. They just had a guy who played at the J League for like 3 years, and when he came back here, $1 million. So that's what you want to see. You want to see your domestic players be worth that.
Means in that way, we can say that
You
we
want
are
Indian.
spending more money than J League. We are spending more money than J League in football. The calculation says it.
Yeah.
So do you think that the
Yeah. I mean,
footballers are
yeah.
overpaid in India? In India, the footballers are overpaid.
Um, I mean, if the yeah, I mean, if I would say yeah, I would say yes because I don't I think from domestically your your players are probably me being I watched the Indian national team last year, right? And they there was 4 teams in the tournament. They finished fourth. They lost every game. Like it was close, but
But
yeah, I mean,
I'm not want to talk about it because that Australia game, you can say Syria game, bad game those are.
yeah, yeah, but is like so like I think this is the other thing too, and you can probably you want your ticket value as a fan, right? Like to go to a football match in India is pretty affordable. Like it's affordable, which is good to help grow it, right? You know, um, when you go to a game in J League, it's not really like affordable, like you're gonna spend, if you want, you're gonna spend, $50 to go,
fifty
and
dollars.
so like 50, sure.
Oh shit,
Yeah, 40 to $50. Yeah,
shit.
which is very comparable to like America, like,
Means
if you
in
go if you
USA
go
the
to,
price is like that.
that's way. Oh yeah, more. Like if you went to a Miami game, it's gonna be $100. Sure. Yes. So yeah, I mean, and sometimes it's $20 to park. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying is like it needs to be equal. Like I'm a business guy, right? Obviously, if the ticket values increase, it means a lot of people want to go and watch it, right? I think ISL they're still needing more fans, right? You don't want them too expensive. Like for Thailand, it's very cheap to go, right? I don't understand, and India is the same way. I don't understand how these low ticket prices like are so cheap to
So
get to, but the
that's
players
why
make
I
so
am
much
telling,
money.
na. That's why I am telling that owners are not giving money. They are just investing. Okay, they are hoping that one day they will get that return.
Yeah, and that works for a little bit, but even the richest person wants to make some money back, and stuff, The reason reason they have a lot of money because they're good at making money, and um, but then you're depending on sponsors, right? Your sponsors help pay for it, things like that. Um,
But
so
one thing
the cool
you
thing
will be
about India,
surprised.
I think
One thing you will be surprised. ISL has more means sponsorship and fans than EPL. There are recent statistics. There is a recent statistics that ISL has more fans and more means sponsorship than EPL. That is shocking. I can't believe it.
that
First of all,
Yeah, that is shocking, and but that's a good thing. I think if you go to EPL game though, it's $100. You want to see, you don't want that to happen, right? Because you want people to be able to go watch and enjoy their football, right? But you want to see the ticket value, like the owners need to not lose money is what they hope, and I think the market in India is open, right? I think you're
expanding.
yeah, sure, and 1.4 billion people, that's nobody, nobody else in the world has a market like that, and one
There
thing,
is a great market for a businessman perspective. FIFA is looking for
absolutely.
India badly. I can say you. FIFA is looking for India badly to capture this market.
Yeah, I mean, let's look at if you remember, maybe 5 years ago, the Chinese Super League, right? It was going to be a big.
Yeah.
They were paying players like Saudi is, right? And look at the league now. No one even talks about them. No, nobody wants to play there. Like, so you don't want that to happen, right? You don't want something like that
Hey,
to happen.
recently I think one famous player has gone in that Chinese league. I forgot that name. If you can recall, I don't know.
Yeah,
He's that famous player
yeah,
recently.
and
Recent.
it's just not as 5 years ago it was going to be that the same thing the Saudi league is doing is what Chinese try to do, and it didn't work. And I don't think it'll work for the Saudi league really. Like, it's cool to have those players or whatever, but they're not getting the numbers and the fans like I feel like that they get in India, right? So, and if you don't have the fans, if you don't have the supporters, you don't have the clubs, right? So, I mean, I that's why I feel like the Indian Super League and has some of the greatest potential is because they have the fans, and you can build something off the fans. If you don't have fans, you're just not, you know, it kind of just levels your potential. So, um, maybe you can tell me this: which club has the lowest amount of fans?
Currently, you can say Punjab FC, but they are playing good now.
Oh, okay.
Punjab FC.
Well, and that
But
happens. You have that happens too. Is whenever you're good, you get more fans, right?
no, well, I think we need some of the big names of world football to attract that fans. I think, and the marketing level should be the top
Yeah,
notch. Means from in the starting years of ISL, I can recall. Means it was a means baby. It is a baby league. So I'm not comparing with the big leagues. So in the starting time, they have big names. They have marketed it well. So all the stadium, all the teams, they are. I think at that time 8 teams are there. So all the stadiums were house full at that time. So it will be amazing to watch a football ISL match. That's why ISL was the number one league at that time when it launches. So yeah, I
yeah.
think I we need a big name. So what do you think that ISL will sustain or means that condition will be like Chinese league or Thai league?
No, I think what ISL needs to do, in my opinion, is similar. See in Thailand, even see in the UK. ISL needs to invest in the lower leagues. Like, they really need to be like ISL needs to own the first division, second division, and third division. In my opinion, because they can put that infrastructure and you can build clubs, right? Is and build fan bases, and it just makes everything better, right? And that's what needs to happen, is that they need to put some investment. You need to have there needs to be one or two clubs at the second division that averages 4,000 people, 5,000 people, right? And and I don't think that's happening right now. I could be wrong, but I think that's the one good thing about like that, like the J League and Thai League, especially the top league. They own the first division, second division, the third division, and the FA, the Indian FA, the Thai FA. They oversee that, right? And it's all together. It's unison, right? And now they have the under 23 league, right? So you have I think that's probably what needs to happen for Indian football to get better, and for to increase fans. And but that's kind of what in my opinion, probably what you need to see in India. You
There
need
is a
your second
problem, you
division.
know. There is a problem. If any ISL club relegates, then no fans will watch that game. Watch that ISL game. No fans
Yeah,
will watch. that is the main problem. Means if we go in that IPL, means in cricket, we are just crazy about cricket. Means there is a one stadium is Eden Garden in Kolkata. If there
Yeah.
was there will be a match in Eden Garden, 1 lakh people will be there in that stadium. So
Yeah.
it's massive in case of cricket, and that ticket price will be 10 times than ISL at
Yeah.
that time.
And I get that. I'm not saying that they need to have, relegation. I'm not saying the ISL needs that. They need more clubs. But what needs to happen is that maybe the team that gets promoted this year, they don't need to, like, I don't know who the top team in the I League is or how many fans they have, but if they're only having 500 fans and then they come to the ISL, it's it's not a good look. It takes, you want your second division to average 4,000 fans, and have a little fan base, right? And yes, when they go to the top league, of course they go from 4,000 to 8,000, right? But averaging, 1,000 and then they go to 2,000, you don't want you don't want to see that. I think that's the important thing is having some structure in a first division, a second division, and a third division. And it goes back, like you said, the marketing, the sponsors, things like that, and it gets football in different cities too, right? So, you know, and yeah, I mean, it's huge, I think that's probably the key is seeing ISL invest in Indian uh football infrastructure as a whole, as far as, if there was a second division, that was probably owned by the ISL, would probably be better, and
Mhm.
not saying having relegation is probably not the best thing. Decide how many teams they want, whether it's 16, 18, get to that number, and then you can talk about relegation and stuff like that. I mean, you don't have to have relegation. Obviously, it's a football thing, but in America, MLS, there's no relegations. And you may never have to have it. You don't ever have to have it. If ISL doesn't want to, it you don't have to have relegation to be successful. Like the American sports model, no, nobody has that. No, American football, football, baseball, nobody has that, right? So you don't have to have that. But I think they need to invest in lower division leagues.
Mhm. So we have already covered that 1 hour 30 minutes already in that podcast. So some few questions, some few more conversation, then we will end this conversation. And those who are watching and those who will watch later, please go in that game day adventures and subscribe game day adventures, and subscribe obviously Mariners Onside, bro. And that question I will ask that this some comments. Means who are your favorite player for this year in the AFC competitions?
Yeah. Actually, I was just
And
watching
what is the favorite club in AFC in this year?
the favorite club in the well, I I watch Buriram a lot because they're the top team here, and they're pretty good. Like, they've got a good club, a really good
Mhm.
club with some good
Means
forwards.
it is in the
And
elite, elite, na?
no, Buriram is the top team. They've won like 6 out of the last 7 Thai championships in Thailand. Yeah,
No,
and
no, no. It is in the elite league. It is in the elite.
yes, yes, the elite. Yes, correct. Actually, but so to give you an idea, and we were talking. So they lost 5-0 to Yokohama. So I've been watching them. They've played good. That was their first loss, actually. They've drawn. That was their first loss. So I mean, I'd like to see them. I enjoy to go and watch. They have their stadium is beautiful. It's probably everything like when Mohun Bagan makes their stadium, it holds 33,000. It's purposely built, training grounds around, a lot of parking, things like that. So yeah, I mean it's a cool atmosphere. I hate seeing them win all the time here in Thailand because they win all the time. But I like to watch them. Yeah, I would say them. I watched that game yesterday actually.
And I wish I can go and watch a one MLS game and Messi game. Obviously, Messi came here summer 2011. At the time of 2011, Messi came here and played a match here. So I have gone there and watched it. Oh God, bro! There is no
Yeah,
comparison with any other player in the world, bro. How you are comparing Messi with other players? Like, oh wow,
yeah.
it's
No,
a
I mean it's having him in the U.S. is great. Like it totally like
means you
promotes
guys are very
football.
lucky. You guys are very lucky, and means to watch Messi and to watch our MLS game is it's on another level. You guys are very
You know,
lucky.
I kind of think of Messi decided to go there, much like Jamie McLaren decided to go Mohun Bagan, he wanted something different. He doesn't have to prove anything. Like he enjoys, it's not crazy too much, but it's still like passionate, and he knew he could grow the sport. And I think Jamie McLaren can grow the sport, and yeah, I mean, is talking about this is when Messi is going to play an away game, those tickets like double price. It's $200 to go. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's
And
crazy,
like
bro.
I remember earlier this year he was going an away game and it sold out. Right, it sold out double price, and then he like a day before he's sitting out that game. He scratched. People are just like going crazy. They spent all this money on these tickets, and then he didn't play. But it's the Messi
But
effect.
one thing it hurts when MLS played with Al Nassr. Bro, they Al Nassr destroyed MLS, bro. I don't know, but it is a Asian club, bro, and it is a European club, bro.
Yeah,
It should be superior than Al Nassr, but I don't know.
yeah. I mean, I think obviously they have like we have the Asian Cup. They have cup games with obviously Mexican football, and Mexico has a lot of great football. But usually it's the MLS is usually comes out on top. So in my opinion, and I think MLS is better. But yeah, that was a little bit shocking. But uh, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's the Messi effect, and I think you'll see too the MLS. I think is going to get better because of it. So like you were saying before, if you can get that one player or two player to come into your league, it could change everything.
And no, I'm telling about basically at that game. So when Al Nassr already means put 8 7 or 8 goals like that, Messi stepped in the pitch and MLS scored 3 goals. I don't know what is happening. I don't know what the thing is. I don't know anything. But MLS scored 3 goals. Before that, MLS conceded 7 or 8 goals. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
I don't know what changes
yeah,
he brings in.
yeah. It's he's definitely a game changer for sure.
And one
And
more thing. And one more thing. If you watch closely, most of the time you can see that Messi is walking in that pitch. Messi is walking like no, he's walking in that garden like that. He's walking in the pitch most of the time. But one clutch second, he scored and he changes everything.
sure, absolutely. You know, so he's definitely has that touch. Yeah, I mean, I think he's a leader too. I think he's a leader. Obviously, you've got Ronaldo and you've got Messi. Everybody has their choices, but I think for me, I think Messi is a leader too, right? I think has that.
Vision. So Sagar Alder, thank you for commenting. He's telling that that was the match Messi complained Argentina for the first time. Okay,
Oh,
okay.
whenever you play there. Okay. Interesting.
That is interesting. So basically, I have enjoyed a lot to talking with you. Means it is a great experience, and I hope you will come India and you will watch a game with Mariners Onside. So we can expect and on 11th of
Yeah,
January, please give a alarm on 11th of January. You have to come here and you have to sit with Mariners Onside. It's a request from a fan to a fan.
sure, absolutely. First of all, thanks for reaching out. Thanks for having me on. I've enjoyed each and every person that I've came across with in India, and I just love their passion for football as a whole. Obviously, their club, and if I when I do come back, I definitely will sit with you guys, and I think it'll be an awesome experience too. And I love meeting and talking to people. When I'm there, and so yeah, 2025 for sure, January.
And
I'm gonna make
congratulations for Donald Trump to win that elections.
You- that I'm not a political guy, but I think it's good for the economy. I think it's good. Something change is different, right? So sometimes you need to change the coach, change the manager. So we
Now
needed that.
India has become the fifth largest economy in the world. So I hope we can be friends.
Sure. I think that that's probably going to happen a lot in the future. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting back there, meeting you guys, seeing you guys. I'll be as far as what's coming for me. Like I said, like, subscribe. I've got my content from India. I've got it out, and I've got some Thai content coming, and then I'm going to go to the U.S. and maybe do some content there. Obviously the season as far as MLS goes is finishing. Because it'll be winter, but um, yeah. So it's I'm really looking forward to next year and coming back to India. I like to do different ideas. I have an idea to take a bus or take a trip or what, different ideas rather than just go in the game. Maybe a
Try
challenge or
try
something.
Kolkata food, bro. Try Kolkata food. Try kathi rolls like that. You will try. You have to try
Oh,
here. It is the
when I was
famous.
in Kolkata, I ate a lot. Oh, I loved it. I loved it. So yeah, the food is
Yeah,
good
basically
for sure.
Kolkata guys are basically foodie guys.
Yeah, the food is good for sure. You've got me on the food.
Yeah, bro. So basically, thank you a lot, and good night, and have a great day, and wish you all the very best for your channel. And please cover one MLS game. I will watch surely.
Okay. Well, thanks guys for having me, and I appreciate everybody for watching now. And
I hope I
uh,
didn't waste much time of yours.
I enjoyed it. No, I loved it. Come back anytime. I'd be back anytime. So I appreciate it.
Okay, okay, bro. Good night. I will
Thank
play
you.
that outro video. Okay, bro.
Okay. Thanks.
Bye bye.
বিরুদ্ধে কিন্তু সেই স্ট্যাটস পাল্টিয়ে দিতে পারে এই 12th ম্যান, কারণ প্যাকড সল্ট লেক স্টেডিয়াম অপেক্ষায় 3টে পয়েন্ট মোহন বাগানকে এনে দেবে, এই লিগ শিল্ডটা করে দেবে ইন্ডিয়ান সুপার লিগ সিজন 10 এ বিশ্বজুড়ে সেলিব্রেট করছে লিগ শিল্ডের দিকে, চ্যাম্পিয়ন্স হওয়ার দিকে। কিন্তু সেই স্ট্যাটস পাল্টিয়ে দিতে পারে এই 12th ম্যান, কারণ প্যাকড সল্ট লেক স্টেডিয়াম অপেক্ষায় 3টে পয়েন্ট মোহন বাগানকে এনে দেবে এই লিগ শিল্ডটা করে দেবে ইন্ডিয়ান সুপার লিগ সিজন 10 এর বিশ্ব জুড়ে সেলিব্রেট করছে লিগ শিল্ডের দিকে, চ্যাম্পিয়ন্স হওয়ার দিকে